Hi there, I know it's been a while since my last review, but today we're diving into Sookshmadarshini. And before you ask, yes, I practiced saying that name about 50 times, but I still might get it wrong, so bear with me. Turns out that Sookshmadarshini is a Malayalam word for microscope, or at least that's what I found online. Which, as soon as you'll see, is perfectly fitting for this intriguing thriller that I watched just last week. And basically, watching this movie made me realize that, you know what, maybe I still want to do reviews. Sookshmadarshini is like one of those movies that grab you from the first scene and don't let you go. But as I said, this is definitely one of those movies. But don't worry, while Sookshmadarshini is a thriller, it won't have you sleeping with the lights on. It's not like a terrifying kind of thing. Instead, it will have you playing detective from your couch, so you might want to grab a notepad to watch the movie. The story follows a lady called Priya. This is a neighborhood's self-appointed private investigator, as she and her friends try to uncover the mystery surrounding Manuel, who is a recently returned bakery owner, like an entrepreneur who just goes back to his hometown. But trust me, this isn't your typical nosy neighbor story. It goes way deeper than that. Let me talk about the cast, because I already mentioned Priya. Priya is cast by nosy. You know, that one friend who has no concept of personal boundaries? Well, that's Priya. And the nosiness might make you want to scream, don't you have anything better to do? Because at some point you kind of like feel like this lady is like pushing too far. But it doesn't matter, because Nasriya absolutely nails the role. She's like that neighborhood auntie who somehow knows what you had for breakfast before you even wake up. On the other hand, the male counterpart of this movie is Basil Joseph, who deserves a special shout out for his performance as this caring son. I'm not gonna give you spoilers because the movie is really good, you should go and watch it. But Basil Joseph, with his performance, he's got his whole I am totally normal dude but definitely I'm hiding something vibe that's gonna keep you guessing. And let me tell you that aside from these two protagonists, the supporting cast is just amazing. I just really like this movie, okay? So just bear with me just saying amazing multiple times. In terms of like the screenplay, the actual movie, this is where things get interesting. The screenplay is very, very tight, really good. From the very first scene, it builds this delicious anxiety that keeps you wondering what is going on in the movie. But just don't worry, this isn't one of those movies that is gonna leave you hanging with a million of unanswered questions. Well, that is if you pay attention. Otherwise, if you're just scrolling in your phone while you're watching this movie, you might be looking on Reddit for answers after the movie is over. So this is one of those movies where you want to pay attention to every single detail. Now, let me tell you about the balancing act that this movie has. It's like riding a bicycle downhill. It's very fast-paced and slightly anxiety-inducing, but they sprinkle these little perfect moments of dark comedy that work just like these pressure release valves. Even though it's not like full-on comedy, it won't have you running on the floor laughing, you'll definitely appreciate these very light-hearted moments. The screenplay is like a perfectly woven tapestry. Every thread has its purpose, and at the end, you'll see the complete picture, which is very, very much worth it. If I have a tiny complaint, it's about the soundtrack, that occasionally it feels a bit heavy-handed, like it's just elbowing you in the ribs and saying, hey, go ahead and feel something. But I think that's a minor quibble in what's otherwise a very polished production. Something that I would like to highlight at this point is that this film handles female characters really, really well. There is not these scenes where it's like, look at me, I'm a strong female character moment, but instead you get women being, well, real women. And this is a growing trend in Malayalam cinema, or I think by this point it's pretty well established, where women aren't just plot devices or supporting characters, but actual, people. Look, I'm gonna be straight with you. This isn't one of those movies where you can scroll past your phone while you're watching the movie. You need to put it down and really pay attention. And if you're like really exaggerated, you might even want to keep a notebook handy to take notes, because definitely this is one of those movies where you have to keep track of every single detail. But trust me, this might sound like a lot. Asking you to put down your phone, maybe it's a lot for some people, but it's really worth it. The payoff is just really satisfying. The journey is engaging, and you may even find yourself going down an internet rabbit hole afterwards to catch all the details that you might have missed. At this point, I'm giving Sookshmadarshini a solid 9 out of 10. I think it is smart, engaging, and it proves you don't need explosive actions or heavy dialogue to tell a compelling and interesting story. But anyways, this is the end of the review, and I want to ask you if you have seen Sookshmadarshini. Let me know your theories or your comments below, and don't forget to like or subscribe for more reviews of these movies that I think we both really like.